Hello everybody and welcome to Deejscorner. I've been asked a lot of questions. First of all, I've been in the industry as far as the collision repair industry for 14 years. And I'm here today to explain the common misnomers and misunderstandings of Carfax. Carfax, as you well know, it does very well on its advertisement about show me the Carfax. And I'm here today to tell you Carfax is a good tool. However, it is not an end-all tell-all to what happened with the vehicle and its history. So I've got 6 or 7 vehicles out here in the front yard today, and I wanted to kind of give you a rundown of what to look for above and beyond what the Carfax says in order to make sure you are an informed customer. Obviously, new cars isn't so much of an issue, but on used cars, this is definitely a concern. So what I'm going to do today is explain to you how to look for flaws or how to look for bodywork in the past, and look at the overall condition of the vehicle to tell whether the vehicle has actually been in an accident, or if, like the Carfax says, if you got a clean Carfax report, if that Carfax is wrong. So to start off, I want to make sure you understand the main way Carfax gets their information as far as service records and or damage to the vehicle is through the Department of Motor Vehicles or Department of Transportation. Whichever state you're in, that's the main way it garners that information. It garners that information via the vehicle identification number, which I'll show you in this video. It's a 17-digit number for vehicles of this age and type, or late model vehicles from year 2000 up. I don't know the exact date, but it's pretty current. So they garner that information from the Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, the only time that you have to report that to the department, that damage to the Department of Motor Vehicles, is if in most cases an insurance claim where an insurance company pays out to have the vehicle repaired. Some states it's $750 or more. Some states it's $1,000 or more. State to state it varies greatly, but it's basically if an insurance company pays out on the claim, then they're required by law to submit a form to the government or to the Department of Motor Vehicles saying, hey, we had to pay out this amount of money to repair the vehicle. This information goes against the title, and that's how Carfax garners the vast majority of their information on the vehicle. Having that said, there's other repairs to the vehicle as far as bodywork and major repairs that people a lot of times will choose to pay for out of pocket. An example being is if somebody gets in a fender bender or damages their bumper and they want to pay for it out of pocket, they go to the repair center, they pay the repair center $500, $2,500, whatever it is, to repair that item, and that will never get reported. Every once in a while you have your citizen that knows the law and wants to abide by the law strictly and sends in that report because they paid $2,500 out of pocket for that repair. However, that's very, very rare. Okay, to start off, this looks like a pretty clean vehicle. General knowledge or general ideas, if you were looking at this as a used car lot, you'd think it'd be in pretty darn good condition. Just wanted to show you on this vehicle. This vehicle has been repaired a couple of times, and here's a prime example of what to look for on a vehicle that's been repaired. So as you can see right here, as you can see right here, there's overspray. Let's see if I can get a good photo of that. There's overspray on the belt molding, which is this assembly right here, okay? And you can see that it's been painted, but they did not mask it off. So that is a prime example of a vehicle that has been repaired, but may not show on the car. So here's another vehicle. This vehicle I'm sure has been repaired somewhere in its life, but this vehicle I want to demonstrate basically that body lines are something that you want to look at when looking at a vehicle. Your newer vehicles nowadays are built pretty tight, so the consistency of the body lines being this gap in between doors, in between trunk lids, like so. See how that's a nice consistent gap? That's nice. Even though this vehicle has damage on it, and that's quite obvious, it has not been repaired, the vehicles can actually be repaired and have this same condition. There's no way for me to move this mirror. So as you see on this door, the gap is very, very inconsistent, okay? So it's very tight, not consistent all the way down, that is a prime indicator of a vehicle being in a collision. As you can see, there's physical damage still on the car, and right there it shows in the body lines. Now, vehicles can be repaired and not have this damage on it when you inspect it. However, if the gap, it tells you that the gap is wrong or off or not fairly level or consistent, then that would be a prime indicator of the vehicle have been repaired before. Okay, so here's yet another vehicle in the front yard. Was taking a look at it before I opened the hood. Wanted to show you there is a prime indicator right there that the vehicle has been repaired or worked on. As you can see, the hood does not line up with the fender. This is the left front fender and the hood itself. It's getting hard to get a good video. There we go. That's a good indication of where it's sitting. And now I'm going to open up the hood and see what we can find inside, see where the damage was. Okay, so we have the hood open. I'm kind of taking a look around, seeing what I can find. I don't want to show the license plate on the truck, but as you can see, no, from the outside doesn't look like anything major. You know, first glance you'd think, it's a pretty decent truck, you know, not bad. A little banged up, but it's a work truck. So I took the time to look underneath the hood before I started the clip here. First indicator, they put a labeling marker on. See if you can see this. They put it on with a self-tapping screw. The factory does not use self-tapping screws in the middle of a placard to designate what type of build the vehicle is with a self-tapping screw. They're riveted on or spot welded on, so obviously this front end has been tampered with and played with. To what degree, I'm not quite sure, but that is a prime indicator right there. That is a big no-no. Second thing is, if you look on the inside of the fender, it's real difficult to see. However, there's a line. There's a ridge line. See how it's shiny right there? Oh. See how it's shiny right there and it gets dull right there? When the vehicles get painted in the factory, they're painted all panel painted at the same time. So you don't have ridge lines, you don't have spots where it's light and dark, anything like that. It's pretty consistent. They've gotten pretty darn good nowadays. Another example, wouldn't think of right off the bat, but this ye old, let's see if I can, found a bolt. It's not even screwed all the way in. That's a prime example that somebody's worked on this vehicle. The factory does not, for the most part, leave bolts loose like that. I mean, that's a big no-no. So moving on, another indication that I saw, the upper sight shield, as you can see, is in pieces. A lot of cases, all this is a sight shield. It doesn't cover it, or doesn't have any real function besides covering the top and stopping dirt and debris from dropping down in. And a lot of cases, as you can see, this is a Ford. It'll give it the emission label information, belt routing information, stuff like that. So this is an item that on a front end collision, a lot of people won't replace because you can just drop it back in place. But as you can see, that's not just normal dry rot. That's pretty busted up. See, the tabs are broken off. So that tells me that this vehicle, it may have a completely clean Carfax, but that's a couple examples of indications that the front end of the vehicle has been worked on. Okay, so I have yet to find one major point that I always catch on vehicles, and that's stickers on the inside of the front bumper reinforcement if they've been worked on the front end. This is an example of what a front bumper reinforcement and front bumper absorber, the white piece is the absorber, the shiny piece or semi-shiny piece is the reinforcement. That's basically the bumper to your car. If you ever see any tape securing the white part, being this part right here, securing that to here, that means it has been worked on. And I'll show you a clip of what that might look like. Okay, so we're looking at the same vehicle again. Once again, the Infiniti. I showed you the front bumper reinforcement and front bumper absorber. And what I did was I put a couple of pieces of tape to basically simulate. You see that? Put one there, and then put one on the other side. Little piece of tape that holds the front bumper absorber to the reinforcement. Now the reason why they do that, if it were to be repaired, is the absorber, this styrofoam piece right here, just holds on by a couple little knobs. So if they don't tape it to the reinforcement, when they go to put the front bumper on, it may fall off. Keep in mind the factory does not do this. If you ever see tape on a front bumper reinforcement, being the part behind the bumper cover itself, the bumper cover is always the painted portion of the front bumper. All that is it's called a fascia or a front bumper cover. It's basically just to make the vehicle look pretty. That's all it does. It bolts on, bolts off. Once again, the front bumper absorber and front bumper reinforcement, as you see here, that is the actual bumper system on a car. So this is definitely something to look for. Very common. I see this all the time in the repair shop and know that the vehicle has been repaired. Okay, so as I told you earlier, I was going to show you what a VIN number is on a vehicle. The VIN number is this number right here. It's a 17-digit number. That's the manufacturer's basically label for the vehicle that tells the manufacturer what options the vehicle was built with, everything the vehicle was built with. If you give this number to your dealer, they can pretty much tell you exactly how that vehicle was built from the factory. Now keep in mind, if anything was modified later, the factory won't know about it, but from the manufacturer or directly from the manufacturing line, this code right here will tell your local dealer of that car exactly what to look for on the vehicle. So that is the VIN number. In this case, this is located on the inner door jamb when you open up the front door or the driver's door. You look in there and it's right on the inside jamb just as you walk in. As you can see, very easy to read. Okay, so question of the day is, how many of you thought the Carfax told everything about a vehicle and why? Please post the comments, give me any suggestions that you'd like to know about cars or anything that you feel that I can inform you on. Leave a comment below, I will respond, and I'll be making videos weekly. Thank you to Deejscorner, and always be nice to your fellow man.